So are the videos helping, Michael? Have you noticed?
Yeah, I haven't gotten any of those posted yet. So, but the ones that we did prior to it, people have watched after. So,
oh, awesome.
Yeah. So as soon as I was going to kind of wait till I had several, and then I got behind on some other stuff.
No, that's understandable.
And so, but yeah, I think they will once we get them. Once we get them posted. I know several people requested. You know, they had to either leave early or they came in late.
Yeah.
So I know that they requested to be able to watch them. So as soon as I get those uploaded, I can send them the link that to the video and
sure.
And we'll see. I think they'll be helpful.
That's good. I was just wondering if anybody was, looking at them and if you had any feedback.
Yeah, not yet, but as soon as I do, I will let you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm still sending out notices, or reminders to send in the little intake form thing. So
thank you. Yeah, we haven't gotten anyone back, but
yeah, I'll send out another reminder. And
you tell me when you're ready.
Yeah, why don't we go ahead and start? And Summer will have you all to herself.
Okay. Can you give me screen share privileges?
Oh, yeah, I should do that, shouldn't I? There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now I gotta find it. It says I have 42 windows open. I don't even know how that's possible. Let me go over here. Sometimes it's easier to do it that way. Well, welcome, Summer. Glad you were able to join us. Let me get rid of this. What is going on? Okay. Summer, are you able to unmute your mic?
Hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you. How about yourself?
We're good. Just for a couple seconds, and then you can put the mute back on if you want to. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your business and where you're from?
Okay, my name is Summer Brown. I am the founder and CEO of Lotus and Lane. We create handmade leather goods, and we're located on the Navajo Nation. So I live by Ganado, Arizona.
Oh, awesome.
And yeah, it's just a home-based business right now, but we're trying to grow, and make it into something long-term for our children.
Awesome. So I'm really excited to learn more about you and your business as we go through this process, and maybe even later on after training's over, if you'd like. My name is Dawn. I am the regional manager for the Farmington Women's Business Center. And I have Holly on the phone, not on the phone. I'm going way back when we used to do conference calling. Holly on the Zoom room. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself, Holly?
Yes. Hi, Summer. My name is Holly Patterson. I work with Dawn as the regional program coordinator. I also do help and assist with marketing consulting through West. And so it's so great to have you on the call. Awesome.
And then do you know Michael, did you want to introduce yourself to Summer, or do you guys know each other?
No, I can introduce myself. I'm Michael Bullock. I'm the I guess my title is the Associate Executive Director for Gallup Main Street. I'm kind of a temporary person. I'm filling in while Kara Smith, who's the Executive Director, I get not associate. I'm just Associate Director. She's the Executive Director. There we go. We'll get that right. She's on maternity leave, so I'm kind of filling in. I'm a former executive director for downtown Farmington. And so that's kind of my job. Mostly I'm helping with construction mitigation, but I'm also helping with the Downtown Business Resource Center, which is what is sort of sponsoring this, or bringing, helping West bring this to you, sort of. giving
Awesome.
them a platform to kind of do this. So yeah, that's we're basically a small business development kind of, we work with business or nonprofits like West and the SBA, SBDC and SBA and that kind of stuff to help small businesses. So that's kind of our thing. So that's me.
Awesome. And yep, complete collaboration and partnership for this. So we're so excited to be able to deliver this to you. We already did introductions. I'm just going to go over this real quickly, Summer. WEST is a nonprofit organization, as Michael had mentioned, and WEST stands for the Women's Economic Self-Sufficiency Team. We have 6 regional women's business centers around the state, and then a business center that's located in Hobbs. And so we focus on providing services to women. However, we do help anyone that comes through our door that does have a desire to start and grow a business. But a lot of our services are provided directly for women such as yourself. We have 3 primary functions of service that we provide, which is training, which is what you're participating in today. We also have micro lending. So we have a lending program to help individuals that are trying to start a business or even grow a business that may have issues with credit or collateral to that nature. We work with non-bankable individuals to try to help them get some money to get started and expand their business. And then we do consultations, which are one-on-one, just to help you through the small business development journey, whether you're starting or trying to grow. And so it's kind of where that phase is that you explained, is that you're trying to grow your business. And we can definitely help you with that as part of the journey if you choose to do so. So some goals today that we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking a lot about customer personas, and that's what the training is designed around. But customers personas is also part of the customer discovery process that goes into creating marketing strategies. So we're going to talk just a little bit about why you need a marketing strategy, and then we'll introduce you to just a little bit of what marketing is, and then we're going to get into the nuts and bolts of customer personas and creating a persona. Now, customer and buyer persona are the same thing. They just those words intertwine between each other. We'll talk a little bit about research marketing and then creating a marketing plan. So that's what we're going to cover today. And we'll take some pauses throughout the presentation, just do a check-in, see if you have any questions along the way. So when we talk about marketing, we're looking at basically a cycle. And so to have a good marketing strategy, you need to have really the sum of all the parts. So the first thing you need to do is talk about or understand what the customer wants, and understand what their needs are as well too, and who they are. You want to be able to analyze your market. You want to look at your competition. You also want to research your distribution chains. Where are you able to market your products to be able to sell them? You want to define a marketing mix. So what that means is looking at various marketing platforms, whether it's an email, whether you put something on social media, whether you do kind of a word of mouth referral process. And so mixing that up and creating some different pipelines for you to be able to have some strategies created around that. You also want to look at a financial analysis, and that's going to be really important at some point, especially if you're trying to grow your business. You want to make sure you have enough money to do that, and being able to market your products with the money that you have on hand, and what you need to be able to do that. And then you want to kind of look at all of these things on a continuous cycle, and then revise and repeat if you need to. So you're not going to ever really stop. As you start growing, you're going to develop new customer markets. You may have some specific customers that you work with right now, but as you grow, you're going to have new people that come in, come into play that you're able to market to. And these are just kind of some tactics to help you create those strategies as you begin to expand your business. There's some key concepts when you're looking at just introducing what marketing is to you. You have your product, your pricing, your promotion, and then your place. And those are all puzzle pieces that link together. And as you can see in the graphic there, how they all interconnect with each other. But all of these four things work in conjunction. You can't have a product and no place to sell it to, and you have to be able to promote your products in order to sell it. And then you also need to be sure that you have an affordable price, that you can make a profit and you feel comfortable with your customers to buy your products from. And so you can see they all connect together when you're marketing. So you can't just market your product and put it on social media. You really have to use those other pieces to integrate into your marketing. And there's just a real quick concept. It's called the 5 P's of marketing. You have your product, your price, your place, your promotion. And that was the graphic that you saw just a minute ago, but there's also one called positioning. And so when you're looking at your product, you want to be able to, ask the question, what is your product, and be able to explain when you're marketing, what your product does? What problem it's solving? How is it helping your customers? All of those good things that come around your product. And then, looking at what you're charging for your product, and using your marketing to bring you to the question of, how did you arrive at that price point? What made you decide to charge that product at that price? And then the place is, where are you going to sell your products or offer your services to? And the promotion is, what are you doing to promote your product? And the last thing is the positioning again, as looking at the product that's positioned directly into the marketplace, and what makes your product different or better than the competition. And that's what positioning does. So now that you kind of have some foundational stuff around marketing, customer personas is, it's a business concept that helps you look at who are people in your market and who to target those people to when you're marketing your products. So if you want to look at marketing personas, they're really the foundation of the building of your business. And so marketing is kind of the house, if you can kind of visualize that. But the personas are the foundation for which that house is built. Without the personas, you have to really look at seeing, if you know what your messaging is, and using that message to appeal to your target market and what their needs are. You also want to look at using personas to reach your audience, to build awareness and get them to go to your website. That's how a lot of businesses use their social media campaigns for, and those platforms, to advertise, not really advertise, but promote their products there to drive people to the website. And that's how customer personas can do that as well too. And then looking at how to write your content marketing efforts around customer personas. So once you develop these personas, which we're going to talk about here in a minute, you'll be able to know exactly what type of materials, which direction you need to take. Maybe it's more depending upon the target market. You may find people use social media more for an avenue for informational purposes, and that's how you want to direct your marketing content to. Also, you want to use your customer personas on how to talk to your audience specifically on social media. And so that's going to be really important to understand what these customer personas do to help you with that. So a customer persona is just basically a fictional person. This person does not really exist, but they do represent a sample group within within your customer base. And you can build a more detailed picture, which is going to be hypothetical for this specific customer. You may even have 2 or 3, depending on the type of products you sell. And then the customer persona is really based upon the ideal customer, using your market research and combining that with real data that you have with your existing customers. And then when you create your buyer personas or your customer personas, you're going to be looking at a few things. You're going to be looking at the demographics, which is, their age, their gender, their income, those basic things that, basically target people. And then you also have their behavior patterns. What are their motivations? What are their goals? What do they like? What are their hobbies? What are their values? And so what we call that is called a psychographic tool that we use for customer personas. So there's a couple things that we'll be using to create those. So when you look at customer personas for marketing, you want to put it into the context of this is the way to define who your ideal customer is. That's going to be relatable and memorable. And that's really important that you have it be as close as possible. Again, it's kind of a little bit confusing because you're creating a fake person that exists in a real situation. So that's kind of sometimes a little bit wonky on trying to grasp the concept of that. So I have a video we'll show here in a minute that may help you put that together. You can have multiple personas, as I mentioned, as part of your segment, your market segments. And then once you've developed good personas, you'll be able to ask yourself, is this really a person that I would market to? Are these people that are really in my target market? And then when you use those demographic and those psychographic things that we just talked about, the demographic, again, being those identifying things, like, again, the age, the gender, even geographic, you can put in there the location of where they live, the amount of money that they make, their education. And then the psychographic, again, is their behaviors, their values, their beliefs, their hobbies. And you combine those two things into basically develop a persona. More along the line, you can look at it as a profile too. But, since it is creating a person, that's why it's identified as a persona. But it really is a profile that you're creating. So here's an example of the information that you would collect when you begin to develop your customer personas. So when you're looking at collecting background information, you're going to get some information about the basic details around the persona's role. So is this person the breadwinner of the family? Is this person a professional? Is this person a blue-collar worker? Is this person a stay-at-home mom? And so there's going to be some things that you'll be able to capture and identify. You'll also look at key information about the persona's company and relevant background, like education and hobbies as well too. And the demographics we talked about was the age range, the income, the location. Do they live in a city? Do they live in a rural area? Are they part of the suburbs? Those are things that can also help you in terms of the demographics. And then you have some identifiers, such as buzzwords and mannerisms. And so, those things play more towards the behaviors and the beliefs. So, one buzzword may be like a millennial, that could be something, not so much it's not more of it's kind of a borderline demographic and a psychographic, but I would lean more towards the psychographic just because of the values, the beliefs, and the things that goes around with being a millennial. And I just picked that word out because, that's the first thing that came to my mind in terms of, a buzzword. It seems to be used a lot lately. And so that would just kind of be a sample of what information you would collect for a customer persona. And then here's a worksheet that you can use, and we can send a blank copy of this And so you can work through these as well, and we can help you develop those if you want to work on developing your customer personas. And so when you're looking at this fake profile, I mean, you can actually name this person if you wanted to name her Mary, or oops, sorry. I pushed my mouse a little too soon. If you wanted to name this person Mary, or if you wanted to name this person Joe, or, you know, I don't know, Queen, I don't know what's a good, or just Queen, I don't know, whatever you wanted to name this person. I think the sugar's hitting me because I had some ice cream a minute ago. And so I'm getting a little brain fog. So this would help you put this profile together. So you're looking at the personality, the interest, you know, looking at media and brands. So what type of channels you would have here, what are their influences, you know, what is the frustrations around the persona here? You know, again, what do they like? What do they don't like? What are their motivations? And then some of the demographic stuff over here. So you can use this sheet to create your persona. And this is just a start. I mean, you can get as detailed as you want with this. Now, how do you collect this data? Well, there's several ways to do that. One is you can actually do surveys. So go out and survey your customers. You can put a survey out on social media, asking people questions about your product. You can put an example of your product out and ask them questions designed around this framework here. You can do focus groups as well too and collect data. And so there's some ways that you can get things together to create your persona. Now, if you think about, I know like I've experienced when, you know, especially like when you go to a drive-through at fast food and they hand you a receipt and they're like, oh, complete the survey at the end of the receipt and you could be entered to win a $500 gift card. Well, that's exactly what they're doing, is they're collecting that data and that information on you to see if there's any new customers that are being, that they can develop for products. And so it's not necessarily a satisfaction survey. That's really what it is that they're collecting data to create customer personas for their business and their company. So fast food companies are really caught on to this, and that's when you'll see like new products that'll come out periodically. And they're developing personas specifically for those products that come out. I'm going to show you a video real quick of what creating of a customer persona looks like. Let me make sure I got my clips on so you can see it.
Expert recommendation.
I don't know why it's doing it like this.
At the most basic level, you should understand the age, gender, and geographical location of your audience, as well as the languages they speak. So we've got A, a 25-year-old male from Texas, B, a 16-year-old female from France, and C, a 32-year-old male from Canada. Already there's quite a lot of variation across this international brand's customers, so we'll need to define the personas a little more. The next step then is understanding why customers are coming to your business and what they expect to find. One of our shoe buyers may have a limited budget and so isn't looking for detailed reviews or information, but just wants to filter the lowest price models. Perhaps another persona type is an aspiring athlete and therefore wants to test out a range of models and benefit from expert recommendations. And our third persona wants a comfortable but stylish shoe for running around with their children, so is interested in the various colours and styles available. Now that you have an idea of who your audiences are and what they want, how do you know where to reach them? Customers are so used to being able to find what they want across platforms and sites that if you're not providing for them, they'll simply go elsewhere. As part of your strategy, you'll need to understand your customers' buying preferences, taking into account if one prefers to shop in store, another favours desktop computers, and if the third is more content to make purchases through their mobile device. Using these insights and developing rich characteristics about each of your personas means you can successfully tailor your strategy and communicate to each potential customer in more relevant ways.
That was just like a real quick, very simplistic customer persona, but you can, the video, I'm sorry, but you can kind of see how the different variations of the customers for the shoe company were and how they identified which customer would buy which product. And they based it on some very limited information. But this one goes in a little bit more detail. And this is an actual persona that West has created. And so when we look at who our potential customer is, we're looking at our demographics as being female. So she's going to be 38, give or take 5 years, either up or down. More than likely, they're going to have a liberal arts degree, but they may not. It may be some other type of degree. And on average, this persona would make $50,000 a year. And some of those psychographic information is that, you know, they're very motivated to learn. They're very coachable, kind of the geek girl kind of mentality. They're not afraid of questions, but not, you know, have a discipline or really organized is not really their forte. They're generally a working mom or a caregiver of some sort. So this is kind of who our target market is. And so when Wes created these buyer personas, and it's been several years ago that this was created, this is who would be targeted to for services and reaching out to potential clients. I'm going to give you another example. And this is called, we named this person George the Loyalist. And so if you see George here, he has some demographic and psychographic information put together. So let's meet George. George is 63 years old. He's married. He has grown children and grandchildren as well. He has an outstanding work ethic. He does work long hours. He's very generous to his family, especially his grandchildren. He does like to receive postcards and also responds to email. He wears glasses, and he didn't grow up using computers very much, but he has self-taught himself how to use a computer, and he's been adaptable and very successful in adapting to that. And he expects when he goes to conferences that the information and things that he's engaging in at the conference are very high quality. He is very loyal, and he really values networking and face-to-face time with his peers. And so this would be a markup of a customer persona. More than likely, does anyone have a guess for what product? What do you think he might like for, what might be the product that this customer persona might be created around? I was thinking like a scrapbook, a photo album, something like that, because, you know, those memories, that family time is kind of important. There is no right or wrong answer to this question, by the way, just what you think it might be. But I was thinking that it might be something along those lines. Maybe a digital computer frame where pictures swap in and out, something like that. So that would be my guess of what kind of product that this person would be targeted for marketing. Any other guesses? Anyone else want to guess? See if you had any thoughts.
I was thinking maybe like some kind of tablet or something.
Oh yeah. Could be, absolutely, yeah. That's a pretty good guess. I really don't know what George the Loyalist is in terms of the product. I just think it's fun just to see what people guess it is. Okay. Before we move into creating the personas, are there any questions? Summer, do you have any questions? Is it connecting for you? Is it still a little combobulated? Sorry, my nose is itching.
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay, great, thanks. Then we'll move on to how you create them. And we've kind of been talking about that a little bit, but here's some tips on how you collect that data and start putting it all together. I mean, you want to make your persona when you get all that information collected and you're ready to develop your person. I mean, you want to make it detailed but you don't want to get bogged down in the details. So you don't want to have a 5-page customer persona. That's way too much information. You just really need a few bullet points, a couple paragraphs. You may have 1 or 2 people depending upon the products you sell. And so that maybe make your personas a little bit more lengthier. But yeah, you don't have to put, every single thing down that you collect, because some of that information may not even be significant or of use to you. It may just been something that, oh, wow, I'm really interested to learn in what this is and see what my customers think. But yeah, just, use the detail, but don't overdo it. And then trust your instincts, and use your research and look at those instincts. And if you see if something doesn't look right, analyze it again. Or if this looks really well, keep exploring it. Don't just stop once you get that data, just keep using it and really putting it to use. And then when you have your persona developed, there's some questions you'll be able to ask yourself to see if you're ready to move into the actual marketing phase. You'll be able to see if the persona that you created, if this person really does exist in your marketplace. Is this the type of person that's there that you could sell to and market to? And the other thing too is there enough people in your market space to sell your product to and market? And the other one is really, really important is, are you going to be able to make a living, using this persona to sell your products to? And so those are some of the things that you could help identify as you're going through that process, to sustain your business and help it grow. Marketing research is really key to any successful business. With the research that you do, you can identify how customers and potential customers can view your business. You'll be able to identify gaps in customer expectations. There's a lot of information that comes out when you've completed your marketing strategy. And so, those personas, when you develop those personas, that's part of your strategy as well too, because now you know what type of marketing you need to do and who you need to do it with. And then having good marketing intelligence helps, keep those risks at bay, and then helps you also to make key decisions for your business that are going to be important. So the research that is needed helps you develop those strategies and then implementing those strategies as you go along too. When you start doing your research and you're getting ready to launch a new product or introducing even a new business, if you're going to start launching a new business, you want to look at where you can improve, specifically if you have an existing business already. Look at staying a step ahead of your competitors. You can use the information below to help make better business decisions for yourself. So it's really important that you understand your customer. And doing the market research will help you do that. And then you can mapping out your customer personas and to market to your ideal customer. Having the knowledge about your competitor and how they approach the market is going to help you understand when you need to pivot and when you don't. Because there's going to be times you might have to make changes based upon the information that you're finding. It may be you need to change your prices. It may be that you need to change your marketing strategy. It may be that you need to find another customer within the market. So there's some things that you'll be able to do is when you're looking at those competitors, when you're researching. And then you want to test your product before you launch it. If you have any product that you're introducing or starting with, and that's really important to make sure that, that's something that the customers want and that they're going to need, and they'll be able to get it in the marketplace that you're providing it to. Using market research will help you keep the doors open, and that's, I think, probably the end goal of any business owner. Nobody wants to close their doors, because that doesn't feel good. And some people do it for a reason, because they've been in the business for a long time, and they've achieved everything that they can do, or, some people are just not successful at it and the doors have to close because they're not making a profit. But using the research will help you make better decisions to keep your business growing, which leads into the last point, and using the research to help you look at those risks. Again, so when you start expanding your business, there's going to be risks with that. And a lot of it is going to be financial risk, and to make sure that the growth that you are projecting to do, the market can handle that growth, and there's going to be room for that as well too, for you to be successful in that process. So those are just some things to think about when you're going through this process. So when you start your market research, which is that data collection that you will do to begin to develop your personas. Sorry, I had an email come in. Who do you think your customer is right now? So you may have an idea of who your customer is that you sell to. You may have more than just one person. Now, ideally, everyone is your customer, but there's going to be target groups based upon the persona that you develop that you're going to really focus most of your marketing to. And so these people are going to be the bread and butter for your business. So that's where more of your sales are going to come to. This is where you're going to use those strategies on, develop a plan around. But you're still going to market to everyone, but you're going to really target that marketing to that persona or personas that you've created. Also, too, you need the questions you'll be able to ask during the market research process is there any other pieces of information that you might need? Do you need to interview and survey people to get this information? More than likely, yes, you will, especially if the tools that you use to get the information, such as email surveys, in-person interviews, focus groups, etc., things like that. That's that data that you can use to create these personas. And then looking at your resources, what resources and tools do you have to conduct your market research? There's a couple things that you can use. Census.gov has some really good tools out there and data that you can collect upon. You can use a SurveyMonkey. If not everybody can do this. Probably 90% of West clients, probably 95% of West clients, can't afford to hire somebody professionally to do the market research. So the next best thing is, getting boots on the ground and getting out in the community and asking your customers. Facebook and Instagram have some really great tools that now you can have surveys created, and so you can ask your family and friends and stuff like that, but you want to be careful in doing that for bias. So there are some groups of people that you want to eliminate from the survey when you're collecting that information. You don't want to ask your spouse, you don't want to ask your family members, your best friend. You want to ask people that don't have a relationship with you so much, so you get honest and open feedback that way as well too. Any questions about the research process? Okay, so we'll go into the strategy real quickly in just a few slides into this. It doesn't do any good to do the customer development process, do all this research, create your personas, and then you do absolutely nothing with it. These things are there to help you create the strategies that you need for marketing, and that's essential for all businesses, no matter what you sell, how big you are, where you're located. And it's more important for startups because those nobody really knows who you are when you first come into the arena of being an entrepreneur, and so unless they absolutely know about you, they're probably not going to be able to buy your products or service, and you're not going to reach them without these strategies, however that works for you. So it does give you an edge over your competitors, because a lot of businesses are just operating by the seat of their pants for a lot of reasons. Especially, kind of mom and pop micro businesses where, they get some money and they rent a space and, they get inventory and they start selling it. But there's no real strategy behind it. So once you have a strategy developed, you are setting yourself up for potential profit making. And then it's also it helps you just use the utilization of your resources to create a consistent sales message that you'll be sending out to your target market as well too. And so, it's all about tactics with strategy. How you create those tactics, that's totally up to you in the best fit of your business and whatever you need for that as well. So the nice thing about marketing strategies, it's not a one size fit all, and you can tailor them to your business. And with the strategies, it goes one step further in putting those strategies into a plan and then executing that plan. So if you're Summer, you're trying to grow your business, if you don't have a marketing plan, you don't have customer personas, you don't have strategies, that's something Wes can help you with. That's something that Michael can help you with, or we can do it together for you. So if you're interested in that, just let us know and we'll work on getting those things done for you. But the marketing plan is really, really important because it's going to lay out who you need to target your market to in terms of your customers, how you're going to reach them. So what platforms, media platforms are you going to use your marketing on to reach them? And then retention, how are you going to retain your customers so that they keep returning and buying your products? Okay. The market plan is, you can look at it as a roadmap, and it'll help you. If you use that roadmap and implement it, it can help you gain more customers, which can increase your sales, and that can help you with your growth and expansion. And so it's kind of a domino effect. Once you put the plan in place, things kind of just start falling to where they're supposed to be. And so that's the nice thing about a plan. Now, depending on what you need in your plan and what type of personas you have developed and the strategies you've come up with, you can't really put a limit on the amount of pages your plan comes up to. It may be a very simple plan. It may be a well coordinated plan. It may be heavily documented. It just depends. It just depends on what you collect and what you identify and how you analyze it and put it into place. So I know sometimes we'll get questions about, well, how many pages should my plan be? There's really no set amount. It might be just a 1-page plan. It might be 10 pages. It just depends on, how in depth you want to do it and what kind of products you're selling, what your business is. There's a whole lot of factors that go into that. So your marketing plan has some components. There is an executive summary. The executive summary is just a summation of everything that you have in the plan. It's usually about a page long. Your target customers, which are your personas. You also have your unique selling proposition. So what that means is that, this is the hallmark of what you're doing with your products. And it's a critical importance that it distinguishes you from other competitors. And so the example here is using UPS. So for example, FedEx, has this process of when it's just absolutely positively has to be there overnight. So that's their statement, that's their belief. And it's well known that they do that. And UPS doesn't do overnight, to my knowledge. Maybe they do, I'm not really sure. But FedEx, you can send something out and the next day it's here. UPS, it takes a couple days to get there. I've noticed a lot with UPS is that and then we're getting on the soapbox, but UPS is starting to drop their stuff off, the packages that you order, to the post office, and the post office has to transition it for whatever reason. And so instead of just delivering it to your door, they take it to the post office. So I don't know if that's something that's required of law by them or not. I don't know. But FedEx isn't doing that. FedEx is not taking it directly to the post office. They're bringing it directly to your house. And so that's part of their unique selling proposition, is that they can get your package to you quicker than their competitor can. And then you have your pricing and position strategies. So you want to look at your making sure those two things are aligned together. So in your marketing plan for this section, you want to have information around your pricing, making sure that it aligns with the customer persona and it aligns with your the types of things that you want to market. So for example, if you want to purchase Facebook ads, and maybe you're going to spend $500 a year on that, but your financial statements aren't allowing you to do that, that may be something you want to look at and position yourself a better strategy for that. Also too, you want to be sure that the details and positioning you desire, making sure your prices support that as well too. And then you need to have a distribution plan as part of this process, and detail how customers are going to buy from you. So will customers purchase directly from your website, or are they going to be buying your things from other stores? So are you going to be a vendor or a wholesale distributor kind of thing? And then think through different ways that you might be able to reach your customers, and then document that as part of the marketing plan. So if you have an Etsy store, and you use social media and you have a website, GoDaddy platform, maybe you use Google My Business, whatever it is you use to reach those customers, you want to have that in place in your plan, or even identify that as well too. Any questions? So how are you feeling, Summer? Was that a little bit overload?
A little bit, but I've heard some of this before.
Great.
So I kind of understand more of what you're saying.
Great.
I don't know if I have any questions right now. I probably will after I think about it more, but
Absolutely, yeah.
I
Just reach out to Michael or myself or both of us, and be more than happy to help you with that.
Yeah, I will. I need help to develop the customer personas.
Yeah.
It's really hard to try to imagine somebody,
Yep.
And I guess now we have more data that I could probably put together a customer persona easier than when we first started.
Do you collect, do you do reviews or any customer satisfaction type stuff on your products that you sell now?
We send out an email just to get a review if they liked it or not, and then it goes to our website as a verified purchase.
Yeah.
So
that's
what we're doing.
Yeah, there may be
think
some data in there.
A different kind of survey to what do you like about your product, or what can we change that?
Yeah, and then you can slide some of that demographic stuff in there, tell us your age range and give them an option, or are you male, female? You could slide some of that stuff in there with those questionings as well too.
Yeah, I think that would help a lot.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, if you have further questions, don't be afraid to reach out. We're here to help you. And thank you for joining us today. It was great to meet you. And hopefully we'll be able to talk some more, and I'm excited to learn more about your business and support you in any way that we can, even if it's just, yay, go Summer, you got your you got your business expanded. That's awesome. Even if we just be your cheerleader, that's pretty great.
Definitely. I will be reaching out to you. I enjoyed this presentation and all the information that you guys gave to me. So thank you.
Thank you. Awesome. Great. Well, thank you so much. It was great to meet you.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Summer. Well, I guess with that, if Summer doesn't have any more questions, I don't have any. I guess we'll go ahead and end. Next week, just as a reminder, we have, and now I've forgotten the title. We've rescheduled the, let me look it up real quick, sorry. We've rescheduled the pinpointing digital marketing mistakes and solutions to boost there we go, to boost sales during COVID-19 and beyond. So if you haven't registered for that summer, definitely get on to that one. That one should be really good. And that'll be our last workshop for a little bit. And then we're going to start looking at more that maybe we can offer. So there's still time to register if you're not registered. I can't remember if you are or not, sorry. But I guess with that, I'll bid everybody to have a great afternoon and hopefully a great weekend.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.
Yeah, and we'll see you next week.
Sounds good.
All righty.
Right.
Bye.